What is going on, guys? Meteorologist Jonathan Kegges back with you on a chilly night in Florida. Certainly not going to be as cold, emphasis on the as when you wake up tomorrow, although we do have some freeze warnings in play for tomorrow morning for parts of Central Florida. So we are going to be cold. It's not going to be as brutal as what it was today. Thank you guys so much for tuning in tonight. I'm meteorologist Jonathan Kegges again live here every Monday through Friday at 9:30. So if you like the weather, if you like to stay up to date with some credible information about the weather and just like to shoot the breeze about the weather, you've come to the right place. We're coming at you live on News 6 Plus and on the News 6 YouTube page. So thank you a ton for taking some time out of your chilly Friday evening to come hang out with us tonight. Now, it's all about the chill, and this is where we started today. Some super impressive numbers. 22 degrees in Jacksonville today, 19. These are the actual air temperatures, not the wind. 19 in Tallahassee. There were a few spots just outside of Jacksonville this morning that touched 18 degrees. So this air mass was really cold. Look at Orlando, the freezing mark. It's pretty difficult to get Orlando to freezing, and we did just that this morning. Fort Myers, 39 degrees. West Palm Beach at 42. I see a couple of questions in the chat. That means some of you guys follow me on Facebook. I appreciate that. That is Jonathan Kegges, News 6, by the way. The deal was I was trying to hold out from turning on the heat in my house, okay? I was trying. It's just really, really cold in the house, so I caved. I turned it on, and since this is gonna be extended, it's gonna be in the low 70s tomorrow. We are gonna warm up. We'll get to that part of the story in just 1 second, but I had to turn it on. I like to know in the comments, have you turned on the heat yet in the house or the apartment? It's wild out there. It was pretty cold this morning. I wanna give you a closer look at, Central Florida, and these are the crazy numbers that we had today. Paisley, you're the winners. 23 in Paisley, 24 in Ocala. Melbourne was at 33. That was a new record low temperature today in Melbourne. 32 degrees in Orlando. Again, the Villages, we were at 26. It was cold. It was cold. Tonight, it is going to be another chilly night, not as cold. We do have freeze warnings up, though, for Marion County, and this extends back up towards the little nub of Florida there past Duval County. And that purple means we had the freeze warning for tonight. The blue is the freeze watch. That goes in play. That is for going to be Sunday night into Monday morning. So there's these several rounds of cold coming through. Before we get to the cold, though, we have a very nice day tomorrow. After a chilly start, we're going to warm up significantly out ahead of our next system. So you see that right there, the temperature change over the past 24 hours. Yesterday, we were talking about a 20-degree drop. Now we're talking about a 20-degree rise to our west. We are going to tap into all of that tomorrow, and it's out ahead of that front right here. And then we get the real secondary blast that is back towards Chicago and Omaha. Let me bring out the temperatures. I'll show you just how cold it is. And you can see there the difference between Chicago and Omaha. That's the next big Arctic front that slides through. I would not be surprised. I think that there's an outside chance that some of us get colder on Monday than we did today. It's going to be interesting to watch to see if the guidance, the model guidance, drops a little bit, because the air right now in the upper Midwest and Northern Plains is colder with this round of cold than the first round. So it's going to be interesting to see if the guidance starts to trend down a little bit further. Right now we have the forecast in 20s and 30s, about a degree warmer than this morning. We'll see what happens. I think it might be windier this time around, which would prevent us from getting a little colder. Regardless, it's going to be cold. It's just one of the forecasting nuances. I like to get the number right on the nail right on the head. As a meteorologist, I like that. I like to get that number perfect. So those are just a little nuance to go on through my head as I'm looking at the surface stuff now. Anthony, beware of the falling iguanas. They are definitely, um, falling for sure. Anthony, if you stick with me after the break in just about 2 minutes, I'm going to get into that Florida snow. And I think there's a decent shot. I don't know that I would call it a winter storm, but I do think that flakes have a really decent shot of flying in the Florida Panhandle on Sunday. It could be wild. It's crazy. But anyway, it's wild. So going forward, this is where we start the day tomorrow. 44 in Orlando, 42 in Jacksonville. So again, it's cold. It's not as cold. Emphasis on the cold, or not emphasis on the as. Tomorrow we're back in the low 70s, so it is feeling pretty good. Okay, we're going to be much warmer tomorrow than where we were today. By about, I mean, we hit right around 60, so about 10-ish degrees warmer. And then the cold front comes through on Sunday. So it's going to be one of those days again where it is going to be very, very split depending upon what part of the state you're in. So there you go. Miami's going to be in the lower 80s on Sunday. Vero Beach is in the 70s. Naples in the 70s. And then kind of the transition is basically the I-4 corridor. And then look at what happens in Jacksonville, Tallahassee, Pensacola, 40s and low 50s. So that this secondary front also means business. And that is what's going to blast through Sunday into Monday. I mentioned before about the one thing that may prevent the temperatures from getting colder than this time around, even though I think the air mass itself is colder. It might be the wind. And look at the wind chills up there. It is brutal. Pushing 20 below in Bismarck with the wind. I mean, this is the no-joke air mass. This is about that time that we reach the climatologically speaking, the peak of the cold. And one of the things that's going to be interesting, and we're going to touch base more on this on Monday, is there are indications we might not warm up like I had thought for the end of the month of January. I got to look at that a little deeper. I was preoccupied with this first round of cold and forecasting this early in the week, but I got to check to see if that's just a rogue model run deep into the future to end January. That would be wild if we have sustained cold for that long. Alrighty, guys, I have to get my first break in. When we come back, we're going to talk about the latest when it comes to the snow potential in Florida. Stick around for that crazy update in a few minutes. Alrighty, guys, welcome back. News 6 weather live at 9:30. It's a little chilly outside, and we're going to start with a question. Kimberly's asking, what is the extra blue day after a polar blast called? I enjoyed today. It was awesome outside hiking. Didn't feel the cold at all. When that sun came up this morning in the limited breeze out there, it was fantastic. So I've never heard of the blue sky referred to as anything coming back, but the reason why it's that blue is because it's a nice clean sweep behind the cold front. There are less particles and aerosols in the atmosphere. There's less water vapor in the atmosphere for the sunlight to scatter some of that blue away. So that is why after a cold front, it is super cobalt blue out there. And that's what we're talking about for today. It's going to look a little different tomorrow. We start to bring back um, some of that warmth tomorrow, a little bit of extra moisture. So there's going to be more of the scattering of the light going forward. The secondary front has the opportunity to bring some snow with it to the Florida Panhandle for the second year in a row. And I do think the chance is decent. Now, it's not going to be anything like last year. Okay. I want to be clear about that. It's not going to be anything like last year, but you see the snow there through the extreme western side of the Florida Panhandle and then kind of skirting up, the East Coast before kind of fizzling out before it makes its way to North Carolina. I want to show you the probabilities. Now I show you the European ensembles, the GFS ensembles, all of the ensembles during hurricane season, because when we don't have a lot of data or it's far out, when you do have a consensus and the probabilities higher when you put in different initial conditions in the ensemble, you get a little more confidence that the event could actually happen. So what we're looking at now, this is the afternoon run of the European ensembles for the chance for 1 inch of snow or greater. That color, let me bring out my handy dandy telestrator. I was doing a little drawing earlier. Right in this shaded color, that means that 20% of the ensembles are saying that it's going to have 1 inch of snow fall in parts of the Panhandle and especially through southeast Georgia. That means there's a higher probability than that there's going to be some flurries at the very least. So I think, again, Tallahassee and west has the shot to see a little bit of snow. Could it accumulate? Yeah. The ground is going to be warmer this time. There's going to be a lot of moisture coming back, and it's harder for snow to stick, obviously, when it's warm and you have a moist air mass. We have to get rid of that air mass a little bit. And then again, the question is how much moisture is left over to fall as snow. So that is what it looks like in the Panhandle. Now, again, it is held to the Panhandle. I don't think Jacksonville is getting any snow. I don't even think Lake City is getting any snow. Again, I think it's northwest and really way west of Tallahassee has the best shot to see some of the flakes. So that was the European ensemble. This is the GFS ensemble. It is a little less bullish. It just has a little teeny tiny area, but basically the same spot. Again, 20% shot for 1 inch of snow when it comes to Sunday morning into the afternoon. So here is, I want to show you how the model running as we speak. I just have to change the computer back over. This is the European model forecast. Again, it's not much, a significant downturn from what it had at from the morning run. The 18Z 1 p.m. model run is always kind of weird because there's no upper air data in it, and we need that. So that's why the 18Z runs are normally the ones that you see plastered all over social media because there's less data into it. So they can have a better opportunity to do even more wonky things than normal. But there's an opportunity there from Tallahassee to Pensacola, Port St. Joe, Apalachicola, and then into southeast Georgia, Savannah, maybe into parts of South Carolina, to get a little bit of snow on Sunday before that Arctic cold arrives. So it's a possibility, just like Lloyd Christmas said, I'm telling you there's a chance. It's not a slam dunk like the last one, but I'm telling you there's a chance. I don't think it's going to rain tomorrow. Sunday, there's a shot for rain. I don't think it's going to rain tomorrow. Maybe a stray sprinkle if we tap into the But I'm starting. There's Sunday. Let me take this back. I'll show you. Let me pull the model back to Saturday. And there's 6 o'clock in the evening. There's 10 o'clock. So the only real shot, and again, I agree with, we are going to tap into some moisture, but I don't know. It's going to be, so you have to overcome the dry air. But yeah, I'm not sold on rain tomorrow. We don't have it in our forecast. We don't have any rain. We don't have any rain tomorrow. I don't Panhandle, it might. You see the scattered showers moving in, but Peninsula, we're looking good. Temperature in New Smyrna Beach tomorrow is around 70. All right, guys, I have to hit my last break. When we come back, I have a couple of minutes for questions. Have to kind of jump off a little early again tonight because I have to run in to get to the top of the 10 o'clock show, where we're going to talk more about the chill. And again, new freeze warning just issued from the National Weather Service. We're going to talk about that coming up in just a couple of minutes. All right, couple of questions. Kimberly's asking, will it get into the 20s again with the next front? I think it will. It's going to rival. I think there is a shot that it exceeds. Right now, our forecast is about a degree or two warmer than where it was. I would not be surprised, though, as we get some better data in, as the air mass is now in the U.S. Observation Network, if that starts trending down. I did not get fire. I do have a little bit. But I never got the the whole thing that we were talking about earlier in the season. But I'm going to be using the fireplace tomorrow. That's for sure. I'm going to use the fireplace tomorrow. I will not use the heat tomorrow. I will use the fireplace tomorrow because we'll be home. Let's see here. It is straight from the Arctic. I want to know. I'm going to see. So here, I'm not even showing you the temperatures. That's probably why. This is so it's sliding down right now. Let me see if I have my Canada map loaded up. I have it in here somewhere, but I'm like on the computer, I have like a bunch of tabs open in my show. That's like a glorified PowerPoint project. These are these awesome weather computers that we have, and I have like 400 slides in it, and I didn't have that one loaded up in there today to talk about. Let me see. It's in here somewhere. I know it is because we just had it in there the other day. But yes, long story short, it is coming straight from the Arctic. This kind of tells the story right here. What is today? Today is the 16th of January. So let me go to the 17th, that's Saturday, to the 20th. And this tells the story. So there's the Arctic is wide open. This is the upper level pattern. This kind of weird strung out like a string bean, high pressure, like from Alaska down to Mexico. That's kind of keeping the Arctic open. It's forcing the warmth northwest of the Rockies. And then we're tapped right on in all that purple. So that's Saturday. And you can see that other front sliding through. And then it just kind of right over the Hudson Bay right there. See that counterclockwise motion? That is just kind of that area of low pressure right there is just spinning, and it continues to inject all of that Arctic air right on down east of the Rockies. And that includes us. The one thing we might be able to fend off a little bit better is the return of this subtropical ridge, this Bermuda high right here. See how it's kind of orange over Florida? There's this time around, there wasn't really any resistance. The cold just came right on down. This time around, as we get into like the middle of next week, it's going to start to build again to help to pump in some extra warmth. So as we get towards that third or that last week of January, where I said it might still be on the colder side, that is going to be trying to fight back just a little bit. Whereas this time around, we didn't have that. Alrighty, guys, I have to run. Have to get ready for the 10 o'clock show. If you don't follow me on Facebook, you can hit me up over there if I miss some questions. It's going to be Jonathan Kegges, News 6. I'll be posting this weekend. I'll be watching some model data in front of the fireplace, watching the new model runs come in to see if we're going to trend down. I'm super interested in it. This is the part that I love about forecasting. I try to get it right on the number, and especially when it gets cold. So we're going to be forecasting that. I'll be looking at data all weekend long. Thank you guys for taking some time on a Friday night, on a chilly Friday night, to come hang out with us. I will see you literally in 3 minutes on News 6 at 10, and then right back here Monday. Stay warm. We'll talk about the next round of cold on Monday at 9:30. Of course, stay with News 6 all weekend long. We got you guys covered. Great to see everybody. We'll see you on Monday.